T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ah, press the wrong button. Welcome back to Honey Passion 3D Print and Paint. What an amazing way to start. Well done, me. First of all, you have me. I'm James. Welcome, everybody joining. We've got Mike, and between us, we're a cross between an apprentice loser and the reason why women shouldn't get in unlicensed cats. And then we have Carl, the man who has as much hair as Homer Simpson in the early years.
Season 4.
Season 4, episode 3. Right. All the secrecy. This is a video that has been a year and a half.
We've been waiting so long for this.
Waiting so long. So, little bit of history before we dive into the box. So, first off, this is the Photocentric LC Opus. It is Photocentric's new LCD MSLA 3D printer. It is based off of the Dental they used to make. They no longer make the Dental anymore. They upgraded it, and it is now this. So this is a big machine. So I will bring up the specification, and we can
just to be clear, this was delivered on a pallet.
It was indeed, which was an arse to try and figure out how I would get it in here. Up on this,
well,
and
especially seeing
it's not 100% clear on how we're going to unbox this.
Especially seeing as the bloke had a pallet truck and you've got a gravel drive.
Yeah. He was very angry about that. It's a very helpful thing. He just looked at me and just looked, well, there's gravel on there, and we'll just all give up then, shall we? Like, this can't have been the first time you've come up against this. Like, it can't be the first piece. It can't be the first lot of rocks you've ever found. And he was like, oh yeah, well, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. Like, okay, cool. Well, should we give it a go?
Or do you want to just take it back?
Let's talk build volume. So build volume on this is a 14-inch screen. So this is 310 by 174 by 220 on the Z. It has an XY resolution of 81 which is a fun thing, and I don't really know what that means. It's got a fast layer cure of 2 seconds per layer at 50 and a custom monochrome screen in a unique design supports consistent and reliable high performance. It has a patented, apparently, vat lift technology and a double seal vat that can with carry handles and a pouring spout. It's got a 7-inch touchscreen. So just to be clear, this touchscreen is larger than most people's printers are. It can print at 18 millimeters an hour, and it uses regular off-the-shelf resins.
Sound is a bit weird.
Matt from a cool.
Hello.
Oh, sir. Go on.
Hey, Matt.
How's it going?
What was you saying, Mike?
Your sound's gone.
My sound.
Yeah, your sound went down.
Is it back?
I trumped
No.
your sound.
One moment, Colin.
You all right, Matt?
How's it going, Mike?
Not too bad. For the first time in a long time, it's actually really warm in here today.
Yeah, it's
no, it's
that
like
sounded
cold
bad.
and super windy here.
it's 24 degrees in the shed at the moment. Too
Yeah, I
warm.
don't know what it is in here, but it's actually warm in here. It's the first time since last year.
Sounds like you're a million ways way away from the mic. What's up, tripod? What's up, nonstick?
Is that better?
No, it just sounds like you're really far away.
Yeah, your mic's not even on.
I don't think your mic's not picking your voice up. Something else's.
One moment.
We
Talk
are
amongst yourselves.
experiencing technical difficulties.
The resin printer is that big; it's blocking your signal.
Probably.
Test.
26.3 for me. Dang.
So why isn't this working?
Because it doesn't like you.
Apparently so.
You did charge them up, didn't you?
Yeah, it's not that. It's
You
connected.
did plug it in.
I have plugged it in, yeah. Hold on. How's that? No?
Same.
Nope.
Well, that is bad, isn't it? This is going to be a problem. Everyone else sounds great. Brilliant. The problem is I don't really know how to fix that.
We've got nothing now. You've gone.
Test.
I'm trying to fix this, people.
Working? No.
Who's got something clicking in back?
That's me.
Is that you? You?
That's his dodgy knees.
It's either me or the shoulder, one of the two.
I can understand the dodgy knees. So.
What have you got on your Max there
Sound
behind
check at
you, Matt?
beginning? I don't know. Ask James what happened. What
What's on
do I
your-
have on the M3?
Yeah, it looks huge.
Yeah, I mean it's big, but it's not that big. So I had a customer come to me with a commission basically, and it's a like samurai armor setup. So that is the left side of it, I believe. So I have to take that off. I just got some more resin here to finish some more parts of that, but yeah, that's going to be like a week-long printing journey for that one, because we're going to print a helmet. We're going to print that because that's basically like the sash that goes at the bottom here. So
What size is it going to be then when it's done?
it'll be, well, shit, that's half of it. So probably 200 millimeters, maybe more. But yeah, essentially what it is it's the sash part like this that goes around a model. So
Wow.
And James is gone. What's up, Matt? How's it going?
Tripod's back
James,
is clicking.
Hi, James, Mike, and Matt, and Carl. James isn't here. I don't know what you're talking about. We're running this show today. It's my back that's clicking.
Well, don't know what happened to mine. Mine just completely froze.
Yep.
And he was all excited about this
in
as
the
well.
background.
He's been so excited about this. So excited. So it's only natural that this would be the one that went down, because it's only been waiting for it for like a year or so.
Yep.
Yeah. Mike, Chris is asking what's the car in the background.
There we go.
Hello.
Yes.
So that is the Chevy Nova, which I'm now sanding back again.
Oh, nice.
Which
So
I've been
just to be
doing
clear, everyone hear me now?
day. That's exactly the same.
What?
Oh, that's a bit better.
It's
Yeah,
exactly
we
the
can hear you
same.
now.
It can't be exactly the same.
You're still really quiet.
No, you sound a little bit better. It's not as far away.
And
Oh,
there's more of your
days.
face covered, so it's better.
Yeah.
Whatever are we going to do? James can't talk during a stream.
Well, that's going to be tricky. I'm not going to lie.
But it got a bit
Yeah,
better.
no,
then.
you sound much better. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
Brilliant. Oh, ow.
You just can't be stepping away. So good luck trying to unbox and talk. And
So
Do all that.
we had a problem with that car where I sprayed it, but every clear gloss like coat we put over, tried to put on it, bubbled the paint. So I spoke to Replicoat yesterday, who we've done a video for with a resin that you can brush on and smooth anything out. And I'm sending it to them, and they are going to respray it and clear coat it for me. So once they've done it, should be like car finish. It just means I've spent about 5 hours today sanding.
That's what the clicking noise is then.
Right, how is that?
Better.
That's better.
Right, fine. I think actually after all that, it was literally the StreamYard had decided that it wanted to mute my background, which was really helpful because I was in the background. So anyway, right, back to why we're all here. The Opus.
Do you want to make your screen bigger?
I can certainly try. There we go. Right, the Opus. So, as we were saying, build volume 310 by 174 by 220 on the Z. It's a 14-inch 4K monochrome. The print speed is 18 millimeters an hour, and it claims that at 50 ohm, you'll know what that word's supposed to be, Matt.
That's the resolution of the screen. Which, that's pretty good.
Okay, well, there we go. So the 50 ohm, it's 2 seconds per layer. Now, what's interesting about this is you can't use a regular slicer. This is an in-house built machine, so you have to use Photocentric Studios slicer. And I've looked at it, and I don't know how you adjust any of the settings. So these are a number of Photocentric's regular resins. So we've got high tensile, we've got a castable, a flexible, a crystal clear, and a durable. So we're going to use durable simply because that's the profile that I found. But I can't actually see a way at the moment in the slicer, and we'll go into the slicer very soon. I can't actually see a way in the slicer that you would set the layer times or anything. I've selected durable, but I don't know what that means other than I've selected durable. So that will be an interesting part of the video.
It's possible they do have that loaded onto the actual machine, much like the Hellet Sky was, where you did everything on the machine and the slicer was just a slicer. That's it.
And it might very well be. I don't know. But
that's normally how those. Usually, the higher end printers are usually like that. The dental ones.
But we now have the.
So over the last 8 months, we've seen a few of these, haven't we? But we're yet to actually see one.
Did it arrive on a forklift? It didn't arrive on a forklift, but it did arrive on a pallet truck.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a chunky boy.
And this is where James's roof collapses.
Did the Mega, Matt, did your Mega arrive on a pallet?
No, it
No,
didn't.
just in a crate.
Yeah, no, not even in a crate. Just a really strong box.
Well, this is a very strong box. I'll give it that. I just don't know.
And what is the price of the box?
You can't even get it on screen. Hey, at least you got it the right way.
Oh. That's as high as it's going to go now.
Yeah, I have come up against an immediate logistical issue, which is that my garage isn't tall enough. Oh, God, it's so heavy. Right.
I have to say, that box makes your hands a lot smaller, James.
Oh, I feel there's something else in the box that I can't. Oh, there's a thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're right there.
Oh,
there's another box that's going to fall out. I think it's your parts box that's going to come out of there, or filler.
Hooray!
Unfortunately, half the camera's taken up by a box.
Yeah.
All right, give me a second. Jesus.
That's it.
You know, it's always funny when people ask for big printers and then it's
Yeah,
like,
this one.
So, okay. So first things first.
It does seem to be
How much
tilted.
is the weight of the printer?
Well, that we don't need.
is that a
James.
Star Trek replicator?
It's right in the box. The printer is crooked.
Yeah. Don't really know. Oh, I see. It's just on a thing.
All right. Okay.
What
do we
is
get
the
in
weight
the-
of
oh,
the
we get
printer,
another.
James?
We get.
A bottle of dental resin
Oh,
to
very
add
nice.
to the other resins. Thank you for your purchase. Your limit. Oh, look at that! It even comes with a little plaque. Your printer comes with Photocentric Studio license. Right. So when you buy a machine, it's supposed to come with a year of Photocentric Studio for free. Then
That's nice.
you have to buy Photocentric Studio.
Yep.
Now, if you want to buy Photocentric Studio, it's £150
A year or in general?
permanent license.
That's pretty good.
Not too bad.
So,
Yes,
to
it's
be
nice.
fair, it's the same price as if you were to buy Simplify 3D.
Yep.
But I want to be clear, Photocentric Studio has been updated since 1984. So it is a little bit ahead of where Simplify 3D currently sits. Oh, and then the USB stick stuck to the back. So this is the USB, and it comes with a Wi-Fi dongle. So
Now,
what? You
won't
have a
that be
choice
for
of
the
either
printer?
Wi-Fi or USB, but not both. There's like a little. Oh, that's just stuck to that.
I mean, if
And
you
what is the price
Wi-Fi-
of the printer?
Like literally a little Wi-Fi dongle.
Nice.
So that's fun. Right.
James,
And what costs the whole
James.
Oh,
box?
okay. We got tools.
James, Ray's asking how much this machine is, and I can't see it on the website.
So,
This is the part that's going to sting.
More.
so okay. So I want to preface this. This is not a Mega 8K. This is not a Anycubic Photon M3 Max. This is like more into what you would expect a Raise 3D to cost, an Ultimaker to cost. This isn't a consumer printer, really.
Yeah.
This is for an office or something like that. So with that in mind, this particular machine costs £6,295, excluding VAT.
Oh, well, I could have got
With
two.
tax?
I wanted that.
No,
Included tax?
Without tax.
Excluding
No, excluding.
tax. Excluding
So-
tax. So you
So
put
when all
20%
said
on
and
that.
done, it's about $7,000 to get it to you.
Near enough,
Give or take.
yeah. So, comes with a power cord. Comes with two lovingly placed Allen keys. I've no idea what we use those for. Comes with a very tiny palette knife. Comes with... Comes with the nicest scraper I've ever held. That is weighty.
That is a nice.
That's
Don't-
got
don't
hold
engrave
on.
that,
That's got
James.
like a rubberized grip to it. Look at that. It's gold on the bottom.
Wow.
It's a Rambo.
What
That
does it say?
is a scraper. That's a
Rambo
scraper.
scraper.
Don't put engraving your logo on that, James.
It comes with the thing that my wife bought when she wanted to keep her shower clean.
Oh,
So
that
I'm
is-
assuming that's actually
you can
meant to
buy
be
that
like a
to the
backbone.
action.
that is the vat stirrer, so to speak.
Yeah. So that's got like a very flexible rubberized end to it. So that's interesting. A significant sized funnel, which isn't
That
round.
is good to
They've
have.
squished it in the box. And what 3D printer would be complete without giving you a pair of blue-handled clippers? So we have those, and then we're also given a number of resin filters. There's about 5 or 6 in there. Those will fit in my squashed funnel. And have we got anything else? Is there anything in there? Yes, there is. There's a bunch of screws. Small vat screws and large vat screws. A rubberized mat. Oh, this is nice. Like a little silicone drapey sheet. I genuinely thought that was going to be FEPS there, but it's not. So put that there for a minute. Some gloves that aren't meant to fit a small troll child, so that's nice. A welcome addition. And then have we got anything else in here? Oh, here we go. And then this is
That's your FEP.
2 extra FEPs, which for $7,000 does feel a touch on the stingy side, but fine.
Hey, be glad that you even got it. Most of the printers don't come with them nowadays.
So this is, yeah. I mean, there's no denying, right, guys, that this is not the machine that everybody's going to be going out and buying necessarily. What you're buying here is very much like when you buy an Ultimaker, right? You're buying an ecosystem. You are buying. So to be clear, you don't have to use their resins. You can use your own, although as yet I don't know how on earth you went to change the settings for that. But you can use their resins and other resins, and you're going and you're going to get a premium machine, right? You're gonna get a support wrapper with that. You can call Photocentric when you've got new machine, when you've got new stuff that you need to do, when you've got. Oh, I suppose is that what it's meant to sit on?
It should be your work area.
Yeah, super not wide enough, so it's not going to do that. What extras did the Mega 8 when it takes a couple of gallons of resin for a print? You're in a different arena for resin printing. Very true, Tripod. Very, very true. So, I need to get it out of this box now. This is going to be harder than the other.
Just break it apart.
Is it? You reckon? I don't know that it does.
Break it apart.
Your best bet. Just break off the front and slide it forward.
Yeah.
This could be
Oh God, we're all going.
I genuinely nearly farted. That's what nearly happened there. That was nothing other than the sheer force of my buttocks keeping that in. Then, so we won't try that.
All
For a
those
second, guys, 'cause I'm not tempted. I'm not losing these pants.
Really helped out.
I don't think the box does just split.
Why?
Let me.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
No, that's what he's going to be saying to people when he sees their scrapers now.
Yeah.
That's not even got gold on it, man.
Gold plated.
All right. Oh God, that's just one of the boxes. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, the box just moves with it. That's very unhelpful.
That's because your point of contact isn't high enough for it.
It's time to have a studio
There
assistant.
you go, little by little.
Hey,
Look at Thomas
James.
the Tank Engine go.
Us.
Oh God, you lost us.
I did it.
You look a bit red in the face.
Oh, I'm so fat. That was awful.
Yes, the Mega
Right.
8K does take 2 kilograms. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. Right.
Oh, that is a nice setup already. It's not
Yeah.
a lift off hood. It's not a door.
A hinge.
It's a hinge hood.
Looks
A nice hinge. Like, good God.
Can't even get.
Like brushed aluminum and everything. Jeez. Sounds like a girl change.
It's really time to get an assistant in your shop.
Yeah.
You've heard some funny girls, haven't you, then, Matt German?
He sounded like the
Done it!
Mr. Willie with the chicken.
Someone needs to hit the gym and stop lifting pies. Never.
Eyes
So,
alive.
Ah,
look at that.
nice.
oh, and it's
Now
on.
that-
Oh,
that-
no, I thought it was on, I
that
thought it was on a
should-
cantilever. It's not.
That should click, I would guess. Yeah, okay.
So it,
Wow.
it's not on a ratchet. It's literally on the back here. I don't know if. So hold on. Let's see if you can see. So you can see here. This part is literally what it leans against. There's a groove right here. So it just goes up against that.
Ah, nice.
The size of that. Hold on. There we go.
More.
Jesus.
I left a little bit of the peel. That's a big vat.
You can fit your head in there.
You literally
Can. So the touch screen is absolutely giant.
have no-
It's like
Like
a
an iPad.
10-inch touch screen. Or like, sorry,
Yeah.
it's a 7-inch touch screen. So what is interesting is around
Thanks a lot,
the back
Stick.
of the machine. So let me see if I can. Okay, let's put this down. For that ends in tragedy. But round the back of the machine, you have a USB port
3.0.
and the power cord and an Ethernet port. So one would assume that the Wi-Fi dongle goes in the back,
Yeah.
like that, because around the front of the machine,
Nothing else.
you have a front-facing USB port.
Yep.
So, no external power brick, power supply is integral. Probably because they were just trying to figure out what to do with all the internal space, I would imagine.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
James, that touchscreen on that is bigger than my resin printer screen.
That-
Bigger
that's
than the one I've got going now.
It's the size of this one, this new Creality. That's exactly the same size.
Oh, look at that.
right, it
Wow.
lights up. If it doesn't boot, I am going to be genuinely livid. Oh, it's got a pie in it. It's going through a pie
screen.
sequence.
Yeah, it's a pie screen, a pie 5.
That's why it's $7,000 now.
Yeah,
It was 6
yeah,
grand.
yeah. Because $4,500 of that's just buying the pie and the screen.
So that might utilize a version of Nano DLP on it. There's just their
It
own
could do, yeah.
own version.
Let's see what this looks like once it boots. It's down here. So yeah, so you've got the USB stick here. The USB stick can go in the front. What is, and I would point out, there's no power switch on the front. The power switch is at the back with the power cord. Now, whilst under normal circumstances, I would say that's an intensely irritating feature. In this instance, this machine isn't meant to be turned off.
No.
This machine is
Resin
meant to
printers-
stay on.
Yeah.
And as a result, you could have multiples of these machines next to each other because there's nothing here.
Yeah.
You could literally have them butted up against each other because there's nothing here that sits proud. So
Yep.
you could have machines flush and stacked all along and you wouldn't have to touch any of them. What do these things do? You've got to maintain my printer. Oh my God, it just tells you. They've got so much screen real estate, they can just put the about me on and it tells you about it's got a 25 gigabyte storage capacity,
Jesus.
That's quite a bit.
which is quite large. Tells you the resolution of the screen, the build volume, the backlight, all of that sort of stuff. Maintain. Lift platform.
Also autofiller.
Oh, it's quite quiet.
Oh,
That's quick.
that is massive.
That's not the build plate, is it?
That's the build plate.
That is teeny, like thin.
Thin. So that lets us take out some of the softest foam I've ever touched. Oh,
Buy that
it's
in
very
Harrods.
soft foam. Then we've got more soft foam, so that goes away. This
She is
is the
teaching.
vat. Oh, it just okay. So this
Wow.
is the vat. It has handles in the side, and you don't fix it in place. It
locks itself.
slots in and then doesn't move. So it's like two guide rails that just sit at the front here, and it's just whoop. No left or right movement, no front or back, and definitely nothing coming up. It's got a litre gauge on the back that tells you how many litres you've got in it. You can.
So not non-stick. Somebody actually has a print farm of the bigger ones, the megas, on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah,
Test the
he's
LCD.
like in Idaho or something like that, and he's got like 20 of them.
No, I haven't.
It's probably like, I don't know, maybe $500,000 there.
Well, Photocentric have got. They had 30, I think, but when they've just moved into a new premises, they said they're having like 60
Jesus.
of the megas.
That vat's as big as my sink in my kitchen.
And yet, that whole printer pretty much fits inside a mega.
Yeah.
A Magna. Yeah.
Or Magna.
The Magna. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still need to put it in the car and drive it as a station to fill it? Yeah. The Magnas are really large. So the Magnas are, I want to say they're a 26-inch screen, Matt. I think they're a
27.
26, aren't they? They're big.
Yeah, it was 20,
26 or 26.
27.
Well, anyway, they're big. They're big boys.
Yeah.
And the difference with the Magna is this is regular resin. The Magna is daylight resin. So there is a difference in resins that you use with that machine over what you would use with this one. I'm putting that drink as far out of the way as humanly possible. Right. So, I guess in theory, we now
See what's on the SD card or USB
James.
drive.
old USB.
Mediterranean food. Where are you going for Mediterranean food?
USB port that will let me plug in. So okay, so 1 second. Then.
Does it mean he's going to an Italian restaurant?
No. I would hope not. Oh, Pita House. Come on, that ain't real. That's like that's like calling Chipotle a Mexican restaurant. But I'll give it to you. It's something out there. There's not too many good ones out
Pizza Hut.
there. Pizza.
So let me just try this again because I think if it was that playing about with the volume,
You can't beat that.
James, don't forget on the fab to looking for the paper on it.
Yeah, see at the bottom, see if
Nah.
there's a cover on it. On the fat.
Yeah, the cover on the fab.
I
It's not
can't
working.
read.
No, that's not working.
right? Okay, fine. We'll just stick with this.
Did you charge that?
Yeah, it's charged. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's obviously just decided that it wants to. It just wants to screw me over. Right, well, in that
Like
case,
me.
then
Ever since
I
I came in,
sacrifice the
it
camera.
took me off.
So turn that
Cover on the
camera
build
off.
plate now, but it does look like it's a perforated build plate, right?
It is indeed. So give me 1 second. It is indeed. So the question is how do you? Oh, I see. So you unscrew this.
This should be
Well, your
as
volume's suddenly gone right up.
My volume's suddenly gone right up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How about now?
That's a bit
Yeah.
more normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is the build plate.
Wow.
Nice.
So those are screws that are there, but they are indented. So I hope they aren't going to affect anything. But
Yeah,
I
that's
also
what-
don't see any
yeah.
way to level this. So this clearly comes leveled from the factory because there's literally no other option. So all it is there's this big piece up here that slots in. You screw down. And Bob's your uncle. I also don't see anything on here that tells you. It says recalibrate.
That might be for the touchscreen.
Yeah, I don't see any way in here at the moment for you to set the Z offset.
It's probably good to go, like the Novas
reckon?
used to be.
I mean, I
That
suppose
was,
for
that was
money
one
it
of the
should
things
be,
that drew me
but-
into the Nova 3D printer, because the Nova Elfin, it didn't need to be leveled. Like, you could level it, but it uses a whole Z axis
Yeah.
to actually tip the thing instead of the build plate.
Wow. Okay,
So-
that's quite cool. So let's have a look on here.
Again,
so
you're,
we've got
you're on a
of-
way different level than anybody else, so I kind of expected that. So,
Maar go
Fair
look for the
play.
fab when its protection shield on is.
LC Opus installation guide. Right. Yeah, fine. Power requirements, unboxing. Has a USB port and on the back. Plug the Wi-Fi dongle into the USB port if you would like it to access your Wi-Fi, or plug a network cable in and you can do it that way. Right, okay. And then the USB port on the front is as we thought. So the USB on the back, the Opus weighs 38 kilos,
Jesus.
which explains why I very nearly ruined a perfectly good pair of pants
That's
trying to pick it up.
ridiculous.
And you'll have
So-
hernia in the morning.
Yeah. So I don't think that there is any protector on this, and I also don't see a protector on the screen either.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't come with a screen protector, stock. I am just having a look to see.
So if you're worried about that at all, I would get with Mach 5 or maybe Bullet Brand and see if they can get one.
Yeah, good
working for
idea.
you.
Good. Good plan.
Obviously, it'd probably be a one-off because nobody really has the machine. But as far as I know, like I said, you're in a different bracket in terms of 3D printing. You're in the
Yeah.
additive manufacturing processing.
So, I mean,
those
it came
three
with dental model. So I feel like we're going to do one in dental model then. And it's dental model white at 50 ohm. So you've got three choices. You can do 25 ohm, 50 ohm, and 100 ohm. Let me share my screen.
Oh, so that's your
Resin profiles.
yeah.
So here we go. So if I show you this, so this
That's pretty
is
good that it
the
goes down to
studio.
25.
And up here is where you choose from their resins. And this one is dental model white. And we're going to do 50 ohm. Now, just what's interesting is, as I said, there's nothing here that lets me decide anything. Like I can't choose any settings or anything like that. So we'll bring in. That looks small. I'll zoom in. So, oh, you can hide it from view. You can zoom in on it, I guess.
Can you make it bigger?
So here we go. So this will use 3.5 milliliters of resin, and it'll take 19 minutes to do. So 19 minutes. Well, I mean, I suppose the problem is
you
barely
cannot
above
put-
layers at that point, aren't
You
we?
cannot put 3,45 millimeters in the bucket.
I can't put that much in there, no. So I'm going to put in a decent amount of the white. Let's give this a shake first. And just because we've got some people watching who may have watched Match Stream in the past, I'm even going to put on my gloves.
Like you usually do that.
It's only because you're on camera.
Put on my Bono glasses.
It's only
Look at
'cause
that.
Carl
Don't
here.
shout at him.
Oh.
What?
Said it's only because Carl's
Bono
here.
glasses as well. I'm going to be clear that these are still very, very, very tight gloves. Like, why has nobody who does any of these machines got regular sized hands? I don't understand why everybody doing this.
They must be really small because you've got baby hands anyway.
They fold up really quickly. I'm not using them. Right. I'm wearing the gloves. You should all be happy. If you're worried about the screen protector, you probably can't afford it anyway.
That's very true.
That's a fair point. Right. Here we go. Oh, this is going to take a while.
That's enough just to fill the bottom of the bat.
That's just one
James,
corner.
have that printer also automatical refiller on it?
It does not have an automatic refill on it. To be
Oh,
fair,
damn.
You can hold 2.5 litres in the vat. So it does,
So
does
the
seem like you're
reason-
probably not going to need too much of a refill after that.
Yeah, the reason why resin printers didn't have automatic refilling is because of printers like this. This is specifically made and designed for additive manufacturing and more dental than anything. So the chances of you running out of resin doing dental casting molds, whatever you call it, are very, very slim. So, and that's another reason why the Z heights are so small on those higher end printers, because they're not made for, printing armor and things like that. That's not what they're designed for.
So what have we got here? Right, so you can scale, auto orientation, hollow function, infill function, drainage hole, support generation, single supports, nest your objects in a 2D space, and then start slicing. So we're going to slice. Oh, here we go. Ha. Right. So when you go down to these, your dental model white on 50 ohm, this tells you some of your settings. So considerably less than I expected. Oh, here we go. So 1800 milliseconds with a bottom exposure time of 25,000 milliseconds.
So
Who decided
not showing that?
that the unit of measurement needed to be in milliseconds?
All right. That is not showing on your screen, just FYI.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Hold on. Right.
You're gonna have to share like
So-
your actual screen.
So, let's try that again, shall we? Video screen. Let's just share my screen then and see if we can do it that way. So here's photosynth. Right. Okay. So you can see this now.
Yeah.
So right. So 50 ohm. This is the one we've got. So we've got anti-aliasings on high, no XY offset, no curve reduction. The exposure time, as I said, is in milliseconds. I don't know why. So it's 1.8 seconds per layer, and it's 25 seconds for the first 5 layers, and there's 5 bottom layers. And then the Z retraction speed is 1,000 millimeters a second from the look of it, which feels a bit high, but fine. So you can import other profiles into this. You can even make one the default, and then you can edit those as well. So if you wanted to, you come in here, and these would be you changing all of your times and everything else, your bottom layer times, the number of bottom layers you'd want. You can also change up here the price per liter and the density in grams per milliliter.
Whoa, this thing.
Interesting. And you can change the color of it. So
They have the Z
you can
retract at
edit the
1,000.
settings. Pardon?
They have the Z retract at 1,000. That is insane.
Well, we'll find out if it does. Well, hold on. The lift speed on the peel is 500.
And the
And
retract.
that's millimeters a minute, not millimeters a second. So 1,000. So it's 16.
That's
So
ridiculous.
it's not that quick.
No,
That's
but
all.
I mean, like most machines, they'll be lucky to hit like 400 millimeters a minute.
Yeah, but that's millimeters a second. This is millimeters a minute.
No, I have to check
Yeah.
the profile now.
Yeah, it's
Are
10
they?
minutes.
Hold on. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Hold on. Let me pull up my mega profile because I have my speed settings. So pull this up and see. I'm pretty sure it's in millimeters per minute. Now, granted, it is a Shitu board, so it might have that, locked down. But
Well, if this is on a Pi, surely it can't be using
yeah,
anything like a
my retraction for my speed settings on my Mega are 300 millimeters per minute.
Jesus. All right.
That is fast. So
That
I can't even imagine how
going
fast
at,
this
that's
thing is
going
going
at
to
a
be.
pace then. Okay, so we're going to slice.
There must be a light off delay because
Oh, okay, cool. The software encountered a problem.
because it says
Too
19 minutes,
small.
and that's
Access
that's
to
normal.
me. So what are we doing? We've crashed?
Did you put the SD card or USB drive in?
Yep, we've just crashed. Cool. 1 second. Let me.
That was like Inception then.
It was, yeah. Way too many of us to be useful. Let's see if we can make it do that again. Right, so we don't want durable. We want dental model white. Apply. All right, we want to pull that in.
Can you see what type of Z-rod that thing has? Is it like a chunky Z-rod or is it a smaller one?
So I can't see the Z rod. It's definitely got. Oh, sorry. Yes, I can. It's 2 ball screws, one each side.
Wait, what?
It's dual ball screws. There's one ball screw here,
Holy cow.
and there's one ball screw here, and then the plate is on a linear rail.
Okay, so that's why it can achieve those numbers then. Whoa.
So that answers that question.
Jesus.
Right, so let's try that again, shall we? Oh, output directory. I know why, because it was trying to write
300
to my
millimeters
desktop.
a minute is slow for track speed. Yeah, it is, but not for resin. Resin requires peel. So
So interesting you should say that. They do make the claim that they have a patented peel a non-stick thingy that's going on. Like it's
probably
on the website. Let's see if it will output. So interestingly, it looks like a CWS file that it outputs at.
that sounds about right.
It's a CWS file, which, unless I'm mistaken, doesn't Cheetu do?
Yes. Now that is for the Nova. I don't know if they're 2 different CWS, but you can test it out and see.
Let me just open up my Cheetu Pro, because I'm a very fancy person and I have Cheetu Pro. Right, let's pop this back into here. And then
I have to say it's a nice looking printer though. Look, with the light on.
it's a very nice looking printer. I should very much hope it's a very nice printer, because I can imagine the engineer who gets to use it in the office is infinitely smug.
Yeah, it's an eye catcher. It's not an eyesore.
That's beyond Prusa smug right there.
It is, yeah. If you're a photocentric fanboy, you know you're wearing that t-shirt. All right, hold on. So let's go. Right, so we go to print files. Found the one that's in there. Print that. Oh, select your
Yeah, see, Andrew, and I'm curious to see how loud it would be if you put something that would be like a box shape on
Okay,
there.
it gives you a little preview on the corner, which you can't click. That's fine. Print. Oh, that is quite quick.
Right.
Oh, I don't like it. Crack.
Oh, I'd be clenching.
Oh,
Great
I
for
don't
that
like
screen
that.
to crack. Oh, how much is the screen replacement, James?
I don't even know that you can buy them. That doesn't feel like a
Definitely
question.
proprietary. You ain't grabbing that from AliExpress.
I think if you call them up, they just berate you for 25 minutes, and they're just like, no more screens for you.
You just go buy a 24-inch
they would
TV.
probably ask, how did you break it in the first place?
So I mean, it's homed, but it's not doing it. Is it?
It might take a second. It might be doing the bottom layers. It's not like screeching or anything, right?
No.
Was it 25, wasn't it, for the first 6 layers?
Oh, I think it's just doing. I say it's 25 seconds for the first 5 layers.
Yeah, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
There you go. Okay.
Oh wow.
About 5. Oh God! Oh, it goes so quick. Oh, I don't like it.
That is insane.
So one thing I will say, and you can't see this on the camera because it's in the vat, but because of the speed that it's going back down,
Little bubble.
it's bubbling. It's producing bubbles on top of the resin.
Yep.
Now, I don't necessarily know if that's an issue, but yeah.
Yes
It
and
can
no.
be.
So it's interesting that I'm assuming this is supposed to have some sort of layer line preview on it, which it doesn't currently have. Oh, does it? Or is it just really small? Oh, it is.
Unless
It's
it does,
really
and
tiny.
it's just
It's really tiny. I suppose we are just like in the middle of the build plate.
Yeah.
Big machine and all things is
Yeah.
tiny.
There we go. Oh, God. Oh, it's so upsetting the way that moves. It's so upsetting. Because of the holes in the build plate. Yeah, James. So it's just the way that it as it immediately goes back down into the resin, it's trapping a little bit of air, and that air is coming up through the resins and it's creating bubbles on the top. Because the build plate is perforated, I guess I'm not that concerned about it, because I suppose it's probably not a big deal, but just interesting. So whilst you guys talk amongst yourselves, I'm going to go and get the PA for when this is finished, because I need a little bath to throw the model in. Yeah. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves whilst I acquire it.
Are the holes all the way through?
Scream really loudly into the microphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise, what's the point of perforation? You're actually going to make more damage if you just do puncture wounds, I guess, instead of holes, like through and through hole. So divots, actually.
Well, I think the first thing we're going to do on this tomorrow is we're going to switch to the clear resin. We're going to try and print the windows for the Chevy Nova.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is
So-
the first printer we've got that's big enough to fit the windscreen on.
All right. So with that being said, when you guys print that, most likely, now I don't know about their resins, they might be higher end, but normal resins, they usually yellow.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
two things that you can do to limit that. You can wash and cure it, then put it back in the resin and cure it and clear coat it, or you can sand it down and like compound buff it, like you do headlights for a car. Polish, basically. So
Like I did that with some clear resin, like you were saying, but I used a little paintbrush to put it on, and
Yep.
it made a bit of a difference.
What are the cost of the resin, James? From some bottles?
Yeah, so Paul, the 4 screws you're saying that are going to be a problem. To be fair, because you don't have to undo it, they're literally how the build plate attaches to the rod that holds it to this machine. Now, if you need a new build plate, I can almost guarantee that they're sending you another pre-leveled build plate. So they would send you the build plate with the thing already attached in the middle. There would be no instance where you needed to undo those screws, because the build plate is already leveled from the factory.
Yep.
And if you needed a new one, it would come with that attached. So I take the point, but I don't think it's something you'd have to worry about.
So Andrew's original idea was to get a used 4K monitor and try DIY resin printer, plastic polish, but usually I get up to 8K grit paper. and
Matt,
then
we were
2K
talking
crystal
about
clear.
this. Do you remember the guy who went on the forums and he had that giant he had like a 47-inch television or something that he peeled the peeled the layer off.
I have seen it.
Yeah.
We have talked
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
So he did a couple steps that were wrong. Like he was missing a lot of steps in between there. But I mean, he essentially got it working in a way.
Yeah.
Just wasn't what it needed to be. He needed like a proper polarizer and everything, and that's really all he needed. So
I remember him getting a lot of flack from the community.
absolutely, because it was way out of the box. Like nobody ever thought about that. Like yeah. And at that time, nobody thought
that
about
was not one of the, that was
build
not
a
one of
brand.
our finer moments as a community where everybody just seemed to jump on him and call him a liar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It moves so quickly; it's so upsetting. It's honestly, you couldn't get a bus ticket between my cheeks at the moment. So tense that I'm just gonna like. I mean, the problem is the resin's white as well, so I won't even know this is broken until it comes back. I usually go
I
up
had
to
it
8K
last week.
and then 2K
I
crystal.
have punched my fab all over it.
So Ray, how's the Iron Man armor coming? I can see you've got the chest piece in the background there, but how much more have you done?
That
looks.
I'm now with the parts. This I have made this week.
Yeah.
And now I'm printing the legs.
Is that all on the Super Racer? Most of that, is it?
Yeah, that's all of the Super Racer.
Yeah.
Nice. So, just out of curiosity, James, can you throw something in that slicer and max out the build height and see what time frame it gives you?
Yeah, why not? Let's see. I've got a honey badger knocking about. Let me see if I can stick that in there.
I forgot what size did you say the Z was on that? 220?
225? 220.
220?
220, yeah. Let's have a look. Delete that out. Oh, shit.
There is a small resin printer build, but I designed a laser resin printer, but never tried the idea. Oh, have at it. You could essentially print one with a 3D printer. You know, use like Nylon X or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good.
Why flip you?
James, what cost the bottle there from the resin?
What's the resin cost?
Yeah, from that
Yeah,
company.
that's probably quite upsetting as well, to be honest.
$50,
You're not asking questions that I'm going to enjoy answering with this. So, the resin from Photocentric is about £60 a litre.
Yeah.
However, I will stipulate that they don't really do what you would call a quote unquote normal resin. So the resin that I'm using at the moment is dental resin. They have flexible resin, which is more flexible than TPU. They have a durable, which is more like ABS. They have a high impact resistance, which is like ABS but has more elasticity to it. They have a crystal clear, and they have a couple of others as well. But all of them are resins for a specific purpose.
Yeah.
They don't really have like and this is a resiny resin that you would use, stuff like this.
You're not going to buy a printer.
Yeah. So like I know Frozen have brought out their 8K resin, which is supposed to be like perfect for like really, really fine details. I haven't used it, so I don't know.
But when we was at Photocentric last time we were there, we actually found out they make another company's resin as well.
Yeah.
Another well-known company.
Well, the thing is, if you're going to spend £7,000, oh, you got a bot. You got a bot in chat.
Right.
If you're going to spend £7,000 on a printer, you're not going to go buy a litre of G-Tech resin for £18 and put it in there, are you?
No, Photocentric make resin for another company, a big company.
Yes, so on their website they sell.
Yes, I know. Yep. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, 'cause we were looking at that the other day.
yeah.
I have
Yeah.
used the AK resin. So one of the downsides with the 4K and the AK resins is they are very, very brittle. They're almost like water washable brittle. Like that's how bad they are.
Really?
So that's one of the major issues. So I think more or less is what they did is they took dental resin, mixed it a little bit with like maybe some standard, and called it 4K and called it AK. I could be wrong, but
Right. Got
usually
you.
dental resins are made for higher details because you know you
Right.
got to make sure that you're printing your teeth and you get everything in between. So that's just my 2 cents. I don't know if that's the case or not. So.
Right. So I'm gonna try. Oh, hold on. I'm just gonna slice. I'm gonna slice it without any supports because supports shouldn't actually make a difference.
Yeah, no, just slice the bottle. Just tap
I'm
it off.
just slicing it now. I'll tell you this: it slices. Oh, it did slice pretty quickly. I tell a lie. That's not true.
Well, it's probably sliced that file really quick because it's small.
So let's just. Getting bots is a sign of YouTube popularity. Great. So this reckons it's got another 16 minutes left. It is a dynamic counter, so it's like now down to 16.5, 16.2, 16. Yeah. It doesn't. It sort of feels a bit like the counters you get on like Octoprint and things like that, where it just constantly changes, constantly updates.
Yeah, every movement.
Can't be as bad as Cheaty Box. So, James, to be fair, Cheaty Box is actually a really nice slicer to use. Like, I've been using Cheeto on all of my machines, and I've had pretty good results with Cheeto. It's by far. I know that there are obviously there's definitely some issues with using like with trying to use certain operating systems where it just crashes and things like that. There's definitely issues with that, but I mean mine works pretty well. How much is Cheeto Pro now, Matt? I can't remember.
You know what? They changed it.
Is it about
I want to say
180?
last I remember was like 140 something. I could be wrong.
Is that a permanent license or is that an annual?
No, unfortunately
Really?
not. So and Lychee is pretty much the same thing. I think it's $10, so it's right around the same thing.
Right.
So like all these people were up in arms when Cheeto Box announced that, and then not even 3 months later, Lychee did it. So
I'm on their website, $169.
Okay.
And that's an
Yeah, that's
annual
it,
license. Yeah. And to be fair, this is £150, so about $210, but it's a permanent license. I mean, admittedly, you could debate you'd have to have Cheeto Box for roughly around 111 years before you'd make up the difference in between how much a regular printer costs and this printer. But, it's just another thing to throw in.
Yeah, Lychee's £110 for the year, Andrew's saying.
Is it?
Yeah, so there's actually 2 brackets now. There's Cheeto or Lychee Premium and Lychee Pro now.
Okay.
Right. And what's the difference?
I don't really know. They just announced it the other day.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was part of the update, wasn't it, Matt? I think.
Yeah. And I saw that and I was like, what? They have another bracket now.
Yeah.
And I think, what the? Okay.
Busted open the Easter eggs already.
Right. Thanks very much for the donation, Non-Stick.
Loving the stream, guys. Keep up the great
Time
work.
elapsed is 15 minutes. 10 minutes left, and it reckons it's a 26-minute, 33-second. So I would expect the timer on this to be really, really quite accurate, bearing in mind that the slicer is designed for this printer and this printer is designed for that slicer. So there really shouldn't be any variance between those two. It should know everything that it needs to know. Normally, when you're trying to calculate, when a slicer tries to calculate, there are so many different variables that it's actually really hard to get them to get a really accurate, down to the minute, down to the second sort of level of information. But this should know, like it should know. It's got all the information it could possibly need. I have no idea what's going on with our viewers.
Wow.
Because it's currently 128, which if it is, that's great. But there's only 6 people talking in chat, so I feel like that's unlikely.
128 people watching. That's
Matt.
insane.
So you use CheatyBox Pro, yeah?
Yes, I do.
I use CheatyBox
Have you had to
Pro.
go with Lychee? Have you had to go on Lychee since the update?
So
I
I
use
do.
Lychee, but Matt does.
I do have both of them. I'm kind of grandfathered into Shitubox, so like
Okay.
going to a different slicer is like speaking another language.
Yeah.
So I have an issue with that. But the thing that I have a problem between the two right now is I love Shitubox to death. I love the way that it's set up. It's very simple to use. Anybody can use it right out of the box without knowing much about anything. The problem that I'm having is support for the printers that I currently have. So, for example, the M3 Max just came out. They just dropped an update that they finally added the Anycubic models to Shitubox. So as soon as I got this, I sent them the file and said, hey, can you guys add this? And it was a whole debate back and forth like, oh, it's got to be on the manufacturer's terms. Okay, I understand that. Then I give the file to Lychee, and they're like, all right, we'll have it updated for the next update. Not even a week later that was, and it's added to their update. So I can actually, that file was sliced on Lychee, which that was the first time I used Lychee in probably, I would say, a year since I've had it. And I've had the pro version because, again, I kind of work with them from time to time. So
because I'm just trying, I'm like James, to be honest. I'm kind of looking what avenue to go, whether to get Shitubox or Lychee, because obviously it's the same. Like people use Prusa Slicer and people use Cure and Super Slicer, and you know I am using Anycubic's Slicer for my SE, and it's fine. You know, I'm not asking it to do anything magical, but obviously I've got a Quality coming.
Yeah.
Obviously I have to use their slicer, and
with that, you really you have to look at all of them and figure out what you like that's more fluid for your workflow. That I would say is the most detrimental thing for me, is like, how easy is it for me to drag a file, put it in, set it up, and slice it. That's my big issue with Lychee. It's because it's like you got to select your printer, then select your profile, tune your profile, then get it, and then you can go into dropping your file in, and then you go to the support. So it's like, it's a little bit more hoopy than I'd like it to be. And that's why I like Shitubox, because when you open up the settings, it's all right there. Your printer, your files, like all your drop downs for your types of resins, whatever it is, it's all in that one little window that opens up. So it's super easy to gain access to that right away. So for me, that's what I like about Shitubox. But lately, they've just been kind of lacking with updates and having bug issues. And Lychee's just proving to be a little bit better because I see a lot more miniature artists going that route for support structure. And I've noticed that.
Lychee, the interface looks a lot cleaner now. You know, when you're looking at your build plate and you're deciding how to slice or where to, it just looks a bit more fluid. Like you say, it moves a bit easier. But
so really you just got to figure that out. And like some people, they like Prusa. I think Prusa is a little more intuitive. Like you got to know a little bit more about where you need to go on Prusa, but it is very it's kind of like the in between of Shitubox.
When you know the way, then you go.
Of that. So, I mean, but I've also used modified versions of Prusa for like the Wii box and the GK1. So I'm kind of used to that because I'm forced to use those slicers. Much like the photocentric, it's got its own slicer that's that. So yeah, I've used all of them, but I still end up going back to sheet 2 box just because, like I said, the fluidity of it is a lot easier for me. But again, people are gonna basically bicker back and forth between who's better, and in all reality, they both provide the same type of stuff. I think Lychee is winning in the fact that their support structure right off the gate is a little bit better, and their support for machines is far superior than Sheet 2 Box ever was. So that's the two winners right there for Lychee out of anything, in my opinion. And I'm struggling right now because I'm like an in between right now where I'm so used to Sheet 2 Box, but now that everything is getting better with Lychee, they're proving to be a better slicer all around.
Yeah.
But I just need to learn how the fluidity works on that aspect. That's what I need to get to. So, yeah.
So something that's quite cool that I just found out, it says closed up in the top right-hand corner. If you open the lid,
then go that thing. I've
then
seen
in
it.
a second, you'll see it will go. Wait for it.
Yeah.
That yellow is saying the lid's open.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop the print, but I would imagine if you were doing it by Wi-Fi, I wonder whether or not it would sort of report to you to flag up that someone's touching something they shouldn't do. Does seem like a bit of a weird feature if it doesn't pause the print, though, isn't it?
An own app.
So interestingly, after I've sliced this, it doesn't. So you can change all the mesh parts and the supports and all that stuff. But here we go. 23 hours to print something to full build volume.
And that's 220. That was
220 mil tall.
Okay. So that's about what my mega is on my settings. So
and that's on 1.8. So I suppose if you went to 100 Ohm, then you could. Then I would imagine you'd go down to like 1.1 second a layer, wouldn't you? Something like that.
Well, the thing is it probably won't change too much for the times. That's basically, well, I guess it would, because you're doubling the resolution on it. Well, you're not doubling. You're cutting the resolution in half at that point. So you're basically at FDM. So the thing is like the 0.25 microns or that's basically like super high detail printing. Then there's 50, which that's pretty much what all my printers run at. I don't go anything below or above that. There's no need. Anything.
So actually, it's the other way around.
Really?
To go to 100 Ohm is 2.2 seconds. To go to 25 Ohm is 1.3.
Right.
Which makes sense, actually, because I suppose 100 Ohm is literally curing a thicker layer.
Yes.
So that makes
you're basically printing at FDM quality at that point.
James, does it have any filter system on it?
Not that I can see, and there's nothing in there that looks like it's extracting. So there's no fan grills or anything like that. So no, I don't think so. There's a fan at the back, but I can't see that that's carbon activated or anything. So I would say no.
Potentially get one of the Elegoo or Anycubic's carbon filters they've just released.
Well, I don't. Well, so you definitely couldn't get one of the Elegoo ones because the Elegoo ones are USB powered, and the USB is in the bottom, and it plugs into the USB port that's inside the Saturn, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you definitely couldn't use their one.
Yeah. Well, the Anycubic one's got the battery built in now, haven't they? So you charge
I'm getting high. I think you'll find I'm getting the bad aids more than anything else. I don't think you get high from resin. I think you're normally brought low by it. Right, so let's get rid of my excess resin.
All that resin coming off there is probably what my SE holds.
Probably.
I'll say this, that a litre of resin doesn't even half fill this tank.
Right. Sounds about right.
Because the tank is a 2.5 litre tank. So
That's ridiculous.
So you're not a litre of resin isn't even half filling this. Ellie could have a battery powered filter as well.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Then I would assume that would work.
Yeah, because I seen the Anycubic ones the other day. I think they're only about $30 for a twin pack.
Yeah. So the people who make the ones for Elegoo are the same ones that make the ones for Anycubic. It's the same thing with the wash and cure stations. They're the same. They basically manufacture them for everybody, and now they're even manufacturing for the other big one that we used to talk about, Nexa 3D, with their new printer, which is basically the size of this printer. They have their wash and cure, but anyway, they are battery powered, and I find it funny because the Elegoo ones always touted that they were 24-hour operation, that they'd lasted, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. I've never had them last past, maybe 15 hours. And on the Anycubic website, the new ones, they say I think it's either 12 or 13 hours, and that's more justifiable. And the battery power and everything is the same as the Elegoo ones. So.
Well, I got these.
Yesterday was of Anycube Live. It says 24 hours.
So these were on Amazon for £15.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they were half price. I know Non-Stick's probably bought about 72 of them because of his OCD. But I've used it a couple of times and it makes a huge difference.
So my only concern is, does it have carbon filtering in it? Okay.
It does, yeah.
That's a really good deal. If it's only 15 pounds for that, that is insane. That is a really good deal.
And it's got a big enough battery. It lasts 20 hours, which is great. To be honest, I just leave it plugged in. But it's I had it in my actual laser enclosure when I didn't have me, and it works like a treat. You couldn't smell any burning wood. That smell a laser makes. It just and it works great.
Yep.
But yeah.
What is that from? Can you put that link in a private comment?
What for this?
So,
yeah.
I would actually say that this is over cured.
Really?
And I did actually send the link to James for them, and he said, well, he'd much rather breathe in poison, I think, was his answer.
Well, let's just see if I can. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, those are the ones that I always tell people to get, because everybody's all up in arms. They're like, oh, I got to vent this out the house and everything. I'm like, dude, I run 13 printers. Now, granted, I don't run all of them at once.
Yeah.
It's usually 4 or 5 at once. And I have a tower fan that's probably 3 times the size of that. And it works fine on a low setting.
Yeah.
So.
And because it takes 360 degree of the air in, it just does what it needs to.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's definitely not overcured. No, I tell you why. I just need to actually clean it. That's all, rather than just dip it in IPA and be like, "Oh, it's fine now."
Yeah.
What are you going to wash it in, James, when you do a full build plate?
Pardon?
What are you going to use to wash it in when you've got a full build plate? Your black bin.
You're going to have to invest in a larger ultrasonic cleaner there.
So,
because I know what he's got to print on this, and there is some large pieces.
So what I do when I'm printing large stuff on the Mega, and probably when I do this one, is I dip half of it in my wash and cure station, and then I turn it around and dip the other half in it. Because, I mean, I don't have anything that'll hold parts that big.
Okay.
Hold on.
That looks quite good.
I'd say that's pretty damn good.
That's spot on.
like that.
It's
is
hard to
free.
see the rings.
However,
Make your screen bigger.
All right. So with that being
That's
said,
problem one.
as I say to everybody else, resin printing is not really meant to have anything directly on the build plate. It is always meant to be supported.
Yeah.
so there we go. So let's wait for this to focus.
Focus,
So,
camera, focus. So that looks pretty good. The only thing I ask about is those like ramps around it.
Yeah.
Can you see the lines on the ramp?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well, then you're
not-
good.
So not on this one, but on the others, yes. If I'm
Yep.
going to focus properly, hold on. There we go.
Well, it's,
Yeah,
it's
that
done the
looks
holes
good.
at the top
Like-
perfectly as well.
Nothing is touching together.
No.
You might be slightly under, but I think that'd be good enough for a print. So
But as I say, if you flip this round, these are the 3 fixing holes.
Yep.
And then these are the perforations. So if you had a raft, you'd be fine.
yep.
And to be
You
fair,
don't even need a raft. You just need supports. It'll stick.
Yeah.
Well,
Matt,
yeah,
Let's
exactly.
say the resin print is made to make prints with support.
But bear in
Matt,
mind, this
yeah.
isn't cured yet, so this is just obviously fresh off the machine.
Ah,
It's not anything.
that's good enough.
That is dead flat. There's no warp to that at all.
That's good.
Matt,
That's-
JD Vision's asking, he wants to start in printing and he wants to start with resin instead of PLA. He has $1,000 to spend. Should he invest in an M3 Max or a smaller printer?
That's a very good question. So my whole thing is, for people who are getting into it, it's best to buy an all-in-one setup. As much as, the M3 Max is probably the best bang for your buck on the market right now. If you go with like the Anycubic Mono X or the X6K, on Amazon right now they have a package where it's the Mono X and the Anycubic Wash and Cure Station.
Yes, yeah.
All in one. And then they also have ones that come with a single bottle, a liter of resin. And that's literally I'm going to take it out of the box, start printing, and I can print for a day or two, depending on what you're printing, obviously.
The Mono K is quite a big build plate as well.
So-
really.
It does
Like,
come down to the types of models that you want to do as well, right?
Right.
You've got to bear in mind the vast majority of models at 100% the scale they were designed at are normally sliced to fit onto an Ender 3 sized machine. So if you're able to get anything from an 8.9 inch up, you're pretty much, with a little bit of jiggering and a little bit of flipping around, you're pretty much going to be able to print everything that an Ender 3 would be able to print. I mean, unless you've got something that's just very tall or something like that. If you were to go for an Elegoo Saturn, although I appreciate at the moment their QC is not exactly one you'd recommend, but like
No.
a Mono X or the M3 Max,
Well, they've
or
got
you
the
could
4K
probably
as
even
well.
get away with the Mighty 8K. The 9.1. I can't remember what
So
what
the Mighty is a 9.3. It is
9.3.
It's basically considered an 8.9 inch screen, but the build volume, I'd say.
You'd get away
but
with
it is-
something like that very easily, and
Yeah.
then you'd be able to buy a wash and cure station, all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
So another thing, talking about different printers and kind of the oddball ones out there, if you want the other way, and of course this is only for American people because that's all they're available on, there's the Uniformation GK1, which is
Yes.
essentially a WeBox printer
Yeah.
rebranded. And as everybody knows, those are like the top tier printers.
Yeah.
They're not consumer printers, much like this one is not a consumer printer that we're looking at right now. So it provides a little bit different service, but the downfall of them is they're not highly supported by a community like the Frozen or an Elegoo or any Cubic. So you got to take the good with the bad. So you're getting a higher end product, but a lower end support system. So you gotta figure that out. So there's
Yeah, I mean,
channels you can go through.
there's a reality that the vast majority of people aren't going out and buying this machine. Surprisingly, in the same sense that almost nobody goes out and buys a Formlab Form 3L, right?
Right.
You don't buy one because it's not for you. We've had this conversation before as well. If you look at the new Mac Pro, right? The new Mac Pro is $15,000. And if you think $15,000 is expensive for a machine that you could do industry level animation on, that PC is not built for you. It's not for you. You can go and buy a regular MacBook or an iMac or whatever. They're the machines that are for you. The Mac Pro isn't for you, and that's why you think £15,000 is very, very expensive. And the same drills with this. This is $7,000. I can't remember how much the Formlab 3L is. I think the Formlab 3L is six and a half.
The 3L is about 12.
12.
The regular 3 is around 5, I want to say.
Right. So that's the kind of machine you have
Trust
to
me, I looked at it.
in the same sense that there's no point in comparing a Bench 3D, a Craftbot, an Ultimaker, a Raise 3D with a CR10.
No.
Yes.
They aren't the same machines. They aren't for the same people. They aren't for you necessarily.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you can't buy one.
Right.
You know, if you were hit by a truck as a child and got an amazing payout, absolutely go and buy one. I think these are brilliant. It's a really cool machine. It's got loads of cool features. But this is a machine that's in Volkswagen, and they use it to rapid prototype some of their new turbo flow parts or something like that. Do you know what I mean? That's who this is targeted at. This is targeted at universities, or this is targeted at dental, so that they can have this sitting in their office and they're doing that. James, can you post a link to the carbon filter if you would, the one that Carl has? So I don't know the one that Carl has. Carl, I don't know what carbon filter you've got. Is it the Amazon one? Carl.
Yeah. I've tried to put it in, it won't let me post the link.
Oh, of course it won't. Yeah.
Jerry says
Make me a mod.
What's up?
It won't let me post. It won't let anybody post links.
No. Andrew, are you on Facebook?
He is.
Is he in your?
Well, if you send us the link after, if you send us the link after this, we'll put it in the description.
All right. Yeah. All right.
True. Yeah, we can do that.
Can you put it on a banner, maybe?
Yeah,
so
you can't find it.
So I actually got bored today, and I'm in two minds about what Anycubic resin printer to go, and I decided to make a comparison for the build plates.
That's
on the
large.
laser. And I was
so sorry. So that extra lot. So hold on, let me just.
So I was quite surprised.
That whole thing is the max.
Yeah. So that's the actual width of the max. And then you see the plus. I was quite surprised.
M3 Max.
It's surprising, really, that the difference between the M3 and the M3 Plus actually isn't that much.
No.
But when you go from the M Plus to the M Max,
so the Max is 298 and 164. So that's a big build plate.
Yeah, that's
big. And I was contemplating the Plus, but I can buy two M3s instead of the Plus for the same price. It does. It's crazy. Because it's easy. It's like with Matt when he posts like pictures of it, you look at it and you're like, wow, it's massive. But until you actually see it in black and white, it's a different story, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah.
And James is gone.
He's there. He's just invisible. But yeah. So.
Yeah. Sorry, my camera is playing fun games. There we go. I'm back.
Robert, yes, I did. In the group that I helped run under the hot end, I did post those links for the filters.
Yeah, I would definitely say anybody in the UK, get those filters because that is insanely cheap. And that filter will take care of the Mega the M3 Max and probably a medium-sized printer, that filter will probably take care of all three of
What,
those.
they're down to like £13 today. There's an extra £3 off. You know, Henry, he messaged me last night to see how much it cost for me to ship him some.
Jesus.
See? But yeah, those are worth every penny.
£13 though. That's nothing.
It isn't, no, and it says 6 months that the filter lasts for. And there's three
Well, I mean, that
filters
wouldn't
in there.
last that long in my office because I paint in mine. So,
But here's the thing, okay? So if you get the community, involved in that, they can probably print a replacement filter that somebody could just drop in, and there you go.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, I'll send the link to Michael James, and they'll put it in the description for this video. For
Yeah, that's fine. I'll sort that.
Well, I've just clicked on it, and it's coming up as $32.99.
Yeah, well, there's a 50. If you go down, there's a 50% off and a £3 off.
Yeah, you have to click the tick box that says the coupon where the price is. You should say there's a coupon thing.
Yeah, because like I've got 3 of them, and then I think Non-Stick he ordered 3 or 4 now, and he's ordered some more today.
Now, what are they powered with? Are they via USB?
They're Type C. And they actually have an internal battery as well, which lasts 20 hours at the most.
That's really nice. External battery.
And they've got a nice little light as well at the top. You know, so like obviously at night time, he just glows a little.
I think it's like the model of the new Philips sound system.
Yeah.
Onos.
Because I see. I'm trying to feel what a company today have released their one. And it's like £190.
Jesus.
And I've seen Louisiana Hobby Guy. He's got some good filters, and they were like nearly $200. But if it does what it does, it stops me getting aged for another 6 months. I'm happy.
Also, Jerry, just for anyone who has joined, because I don't know what's going on with I think StreamYard's lying about the amount of people that are watching, but for anybody who's just joined, the Photocentric LC Opus is a 14-inch resin printer. I would actually say, really, one of the major drawbacks of this when it comes to trying to pick it up for a hobbyist level is the Z height. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong.
Or picking it up.
Because, I mean, like, if you look at the Mega's 400.
Yeah.
The 220 Z height is actually, I mean, again, bear in mind what this is for. If it's for dental molds, then it only ever needs to go up to here. No one's got a 4-foot long tooth. Like, no one's going into the dentist and buying saber-tooth dentures. So it's, it's an absolute monster of a machine.
But
I should also be very clear before we go any further, and I probably should have pointed this out to begin with. We have this on loan, so we don't get to keep this.
And he never spent £7,000 on it.
Yeah, this wasn't a £7,000 gift from Photocentric. They're not completely off their heads. So we're keeping this for about 6 months.
You haven't broken it yet.
The different resins. We'll have a bunch of like. So I mean, there's durable in here. There's ABS like. The one I'm really interested in, castable, because we've never done casting on the channel before, and frankly, I drop a lot of stuff. So dropping a crucible full of molten aluminium is going to be hilarious, whatever the outcome is.
And luckily, I have a forge.
Yeah, obviously, because it's one of those things you've got lying about.
Yeah, I just bought it on a whim. I've never used it.
Because you knew what was coming.
Maybe.
We always knew. We were always on the edge. So
I think I see it on Amazon for like 150 quid and thought I'm having that.
Hi, Edutech as well.
It's a good paperweight as well, isn't it, Mike?
Well, it'll hold a lot of paper. It's really quite large.
Yeah. Quite a big forge. So we will be doing the castable resin. We've got the durable. There's a crystal clear in here, which, if it's the clear I think it is the clearest resin I have ever seen that does not require any post-processing to keep it clear.
Well, you'll see on one of our old videos where we went to Photocentric, they had like a 50mm cube of blue, crystal clear blue, and we actually scanned a QR code through it. and there was no post-processing. Like, it came off the printer and they cured it.
Wow.
Wow.
And yeah, you could. It was optically clear. You couldn't see any layer lines. It was an impressive. It was impressive.
Looked more like blue glass, didn't it?
Well, so that's actually a different one. So that's their polyglass. So their polyglass has a blue tint to it to look like actual glass. And then they've got this one, which is their poly clear, and that comes out clear. So it will be very interesting to see how they come out. We will be doing those for. We've got the build for the car coming up. The Chevy Impala,
Yeah.
is it, Mike?
Yeah, which looks 100 times worse now than it did last week.
Yeah, we've gone through like 8 paint jobs on that car at this point.
So, just FYI, James, that count is correct. You're at 114 right now, viewers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm a famous person now. Everybody else got off the stream. I'm famous. I'm too famous for this. I just want to live a normal life. I don't even like the attention. That's not true. I have an undying need to be liked. Thank you for watching me. Please don't go away.
It's just gone down to 110.
And
Ah,
don't
no.
forget,
I always knew.
You said that, and 5 people
Nope.
dropped out.
I
They're
always
like,
knew my
"Nope."
hubris would be what made me come unstuck. Yeah, so I mean, so there's not much more to go through on this, guys. I mean, it works. I can't believe that you don't need to set the Z offset. I can't believe that you don't need to level the bed. Not leveling the bed. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Hold
another
on.
bot.
Oh, bots back again.
Yeah.
These
There we
bots
go.
seem to
Right.
appear when non-sticks about.
So yeah, so you don't have to level the bed. You don't have to set the Z offset. You don't clamp the bed down. It just literally slots in. Yeah. I mean, it does literally everything it says on the tin. You don't have to set any of the resin settings if you buy their resin. And then if you've got your own resins, you can use third parties as well. The tank holds 2.5 liters, so prepare to be very sad when you fill it up. And I hope that it lasts a while. I suppose the thing is as well is that because of the size of the vat, like you have to have a minimum amount in there just to cover the whole screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I can guarantee you, I built this desk, and I know for a fact that it is not level. So that is going to be a problem at some point. I may have to deal with. Yeah, there's going to be a lot coming on this printer, guys. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff on it, and we have a busy time on the channel. So on Monday, we're
back on Monday.
Stream. Yeah, Monday we've got another live stream, which is the Blocks Mark 1. That is a kind of an Ultimaker style machine.
Yeah.
It's very cool. It's from Portugal, and I really want it. So we've also got a Rat Rig V-Core 3 on the way, a 400 by 400. So watch me electrocute myself, because I 100% will electrocute myself with that. I've electrocuted myself twice with the Voron, and it hurts. I still have a twitch. So that'll be a fun one to watch. What else? Then we've got model videos coming as well. We've got loads of extra stuff. Thanks very much for joining us. Thanks very much for sticking with us. I see we've now peaked at 134. And if anyone could explain to me why, that would be great. We have got T-shirts now, so perhaps people just think we're really official.
We've got matching T-shirts. That's probably what it was.
T-shirt.
Could be the matching T-shirts. I'm gonna have to get Ray and Matt a T-shirt now as well, so that we all.
Well, it could just be the noise of that Tech 100 whining. That's just drawing them in, like
whining
dolphins
in the background. So, thanks very much, guys and dolls, for joining us. Thanks very much for sticking with us. Thanks very much for sharing to wherever it is this was mysteriously shared. And thanks to the 131 people who apparently have nothing else to do on Good Friday. So, thank you very much for joining. We'll see you all very soon. Stay safe.
Bye.
Stay safe.